Samsung made the most innovative smartphone of the year. With extreme engineering and being in the works for the past 8 years, this phone has suffered some major setbacks. With cutting edge technology and an innovative design, the $2,000 price tag has left some weary of the device. Samsung has made another eye catching device, but the real question is, will the Samsung Galaxy Fold prevail? Welcome to xtendertech. My name is Austin Dixon, and today we will be talking about the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Four topics we're going to be talking about today is what is the Samsung Galaxy Fold? How is the Samsung Galaxy Fold? Why is the Samsung Galaxy Fold? And what is the current state or the current status of the Samsung Galaxy Fold? They simply made the Samsung Galaxy Fold because the smartphone market has been stagnant for the past 10 years almost. Since the first phone came out, yes, there have been new features, but it's always been the same kind of rectangulish square either uh, with either it being plastic on both sides, glass and plastic, glass and aluminum, slab of glass sometimes, a slab of glass and stainless steel. There have been multiple different ways that you can design the chassis of a smartphone, but the overall structure has been the same. Yes, the screen to body ratios have gotten larger, the technology in the phones have gotten better, but the phones themselves, as in the chassis and the shape and how we really use them, have not changed. What Samsung did was they created something new, something that the smartphone market has never seen before. A device that folds and opens into a much larger display that invites you literally to use it, gives you a tablet-like experience, something that you're not going to get anywhere else as of today. Second point is to create more interest around the brand. Samsung has had a lot of attention around the brand in the past, not necessarily for good reasons. When the Note 7 fiasco was going on, that was not good press, and it definitely was not a good time for Samsung. But when the S10 came out, this phone with cutting edge technology, a hole in the display for the camera, an under display fingerprint sensor, and basically you can charge devices from your phone. I mean, that is something that would give Samsung great press, great media attention. The Samsung Galaxy Fold was going to give them even more attention. This smartphone that unfolds. How did you get the display to fold like that? How did you get the glass, which we now know is plastic? How did you get the plastic to fold? How did you get the plastic to fold and then unfold over 200,000 times? How did you design the hinge to withstand that many folds? How did you get the software, the battery? How do you have the components? All of those questions which generated interest around the brand. Third point was to test a new technology in the market to see if the market well accepted this new technology, this alien device that Samsung basically shoved into the market and was like, Here, the people that can't afford its $2,000 price tag, take it, see how you like it, and the second generation one should be much better and will be much better. This, though it's been in the works for the past 8 years, Samsung really, really wanted to test to see if it really was going to work. Because you ultimately never know if it is going to work unless you try it. And they tested it. Now, phase two of that testing is to put it out on the market. But this device wasn't accepted well because of its seemingly outrageous price tag, which is $1,980. Fourth point was to show, for Samsung to show the market to the world. This is the future of smartphones. Folding display, a phone that has a small screen on the front that you can use, but if you want a tablet-like experience, you can unfold it and you could have a larger display to watch TV, movies, YouTube videos, surf the web, go on Twitter and tweet or read different tweets, go on Instagram and enjoy the photos and videos that people have been posting. This is basically what the Galaxy Fold is. It's basically the future of smartphones. This is ultimately, maybe in the next 5 years, the next 9 years, this is what smartphones will be. We will look back in the past and we will say, I remember when it was just this little tiny slab, this thin piece. Now it's unfolding and folding. This is what the future is. Obvious, the Samsung Galaxy Fold number one is a folding smartphone. It has two displays, six cameras, um, a seriously complex hinge that is unique only to that phone. It's probably one of the reasons it took 8 years for Samsung to perfect the device somewhat. Um, it is the future of smartphones and a combination of a phone and a tablet. The Samsung Galaxy Fold was meant to bring the phone and the tablet like experience together so that users or customers would not have to go out and buy two different devices. So they wouldn't have to have or use two different devices at the same time. They figured if we take this phone and we have a smaller display on the outside, but we have it where it folds open and gives users a larger display on the inside, we've ultimately gotten rid of carrying around two devices. Instead, you have literally two devices in one. And that is somewhat what the Samsung Galaxy Fold is. It literally, Samsung had been planning for this device to come out for years. It's been in the works for the past 8 years. So since around 2010, 2011, Samsung knew that they were in 8 years or somewhere within 10 years, they were going to be releasing this foldable device and that it was going to be their future. It was going to be what they are ultimately going to be selling. Though the Samsung Galaxy Fold is limited edition, they know that in the future, this is the device that almost every smartphone manufacturer in the future is going to be selling. And that brings excitement to the industry and to the market. Now we're going to be moving on to specs, to what kind of power the Samsung Galaxy Fold is bringing to the table and where it ranks, really. So the Samsung Galaxy Fold has a 4.6-inch outer display and a 7.3-inch inner display. It has a total of 6 cameras. On the front, it has a 10 megapixel selfie camera. On the inside, it has a 10 megapixel selfie camera and it has an 8 megapixel depth camera. The back of the device has a triple camera setup with a 16 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 12 megapixel wide angle camera, and a 12 megapixel telephoto camera. The device supports 4K video recording and super slow-mo like Samsung's past devices. It also has a 4,380 milliamp hour battery. It supports fast charging. The device also has a Snapdragon 855 along with the 12 gigabytes of RAM. This device should not have any issues with any RAM or opening any apps. This device should be buttery smooth. It should be moving extremely fast. Before its launch in April, reviewers were reviewing the device, testing it somewhat to an extent, posting their blogs on, The Verge, Bloomberg, different sites, and YouTubers like MKBHD and Android Authority got to take their devices home and use them for a certain amount of time or keep them indefinitely until the launch, April 26th, that Samsung had chosen for the device. But it didn't take long for the devices to start breaking. There were multiple instances where a plastic covering over the display that was mistaken for a screen protector, which was not there as a screen protector. Reviewers were peeling it off thinking it was one, and the result of peeling it off resulted in the mass destruction of the display. Now, it didn't shatter into pieces or anything like that, but the entire display stops working. And Samsung has said that that was a critical component of the display. Other review units have had where one half of the screen decides to stop working. Others have had where this black area has just taken over the entire display, and one unit, unfortunately, it either was a piece of dust or something got under the display, and since the display is thin, it kind of pushed the display upwards and ended up having the display to completely stop working. Samsung called off the launch since it was only a few weeks away and they wanted to figure out what was going on. They needed to fix this issue. They almost had to re-engineer certain parts of the phone. And it is now July, and Samsung has, over that time frame between April 26th, around the time that they called off the launch, and now it really hasn't been much said about the device. Samsung has kind of wanted to fix the device in private, but they have fixed the device. Samsung has said that they have taken that plastic covering and wrapped it around the entire display, so when the device goes to the market those that are using it are not tempted to peel that critical component of the display off. Also, mid-fold of the device where you have to fold it, there is a gap between the display and the hinge, and that is where they are suspecting that the lint or a piece of dust or whatever got up under the display and ruined it for that particular device. Um, they are saying that they have closed that gap and they have retested the display to make sure that it does not fail in any of the folds. And Samsung has tested the device in a controlled lab environment, but that does not resemble real life and what could ultimately happen. I am waiting to hear from Samsung or somebody when the Samsung Galaxy Fold is expected to launch. The device has a wow factor. It's very amazing. Though I haven't seen it in person, I have seen it over the internet through YouTube videos and pictures. The device is very amazing, and I would love to own one. But the $2,000 price tag is one of the main reasons why Samsung will not be selling that many units, that and because of the complex hinge. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.